Hello and welcome to Talk Sport on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. Eberichi Eze to Arsenal. Chelsea also saying they have 13 more deals they need to lock down before the transfer window shuts down on the 1st of September. You know, it's just so surprising that they still have like chunk of deals that they still want to close in the space of 2 weeks at most, and then we'll see how they'll be able to achieve that. And then we'll see MPFL kickstarts today as Remo Stars, the current champion of the 2024-2025 season, will be hosting former champions Rivers United in the opening games later on today, and also Niger Tornadoes will be having their own games on the 24th. So trajectory of the game continues. MPFL season has officially is resuming today. And then on the other hand, away from football, female yellow and greens anticipate World Cup qualifiers squad, and then they are getting themselves ready in an enclosed facility. And then come Monday, all of the team members will be jetting out of Nigeria ahead of the World Cup qualifiers. So we'll see how all of that turns out. And then big one coming from UFC. Israel Adesanya is getting set to return to the cage as he gets set for the coming bout. Then UFC bouts will be coming up shortly in the month of October 25th. So we'll be having all of those conversations and also bringing you highlights from Afro Basketball as the Tigers bows out of the championship based on the fact that Senegal defeated them after they started on a very good note, winning the first quarter, but they lost the second and third quarter and also won the fourth quarter, which was, you know, pretty late for them. We'll bring you highlights of that game. We'll also bring you highlights of the quarterfinal game, semi-final sport games that was battled between Mali and Cote d'Ivoire. We'll also bring you highlights of UEFA Conference League that is ongoing as Eberichi plays his last game for Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace, you know, emerged victorious in last night's game. We'll be bringing you all of this, you know, top stories and highlights from the world of sports. As always, we start from the home front as female yellow and greens anticipate World Cup qualifiers final squad. The camp of the Nigerian senior women cricket team, the female yellow and greens, is stuck in high anticipation as head coach Leke Oyede is set to name the final 15-player squad for the 2026 ICC Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria players are intensifying their preparation at the closed camp in Lagos ahead of the African qualifiers, which will take place in Namibia from August the 28th to September the 7th. The final squad is expected to be out of Nigeria by Monday to Namibia. Leke Oyede's team began training last month in Benin City, Edo State, with 22 players before the coach dropped 4 players ahead of the final lap in Lagos. I think we have a big chance. We have 2 teams. I think we have a big chance, he says, at qualifying. He said 2 teams are qualifying from the stage for the global qualifiers. If we put up a good fight, we can make it into the semis, which determines the qualifications, says Oyede. So we'll see how all of this would transform and how this team will participate and, you know, move further ahead of the qualifiers. And then we'll be cheering for them, obviously, and hoping that he picks out the best of the best from the squad that is remaining. So moving on, Oshoba, let's talk boxing quickly. Oshoba rules called off a fight with Parker. Nigerian boxing sensation Elizabeth Oshoba has expressed disappointment after her scheduled featherweight bout against American Malaysia Parker was cancelled. The undefeated WBC silver and IBO international featherweight champion was set to face Parker, who has a record of 6 wins, 3 draws and 1 losses and 2 knockout punches. 2 victories coming by knockout on Friday night in Orlando, Florida, in what was expected to be a crucial step in her quest for world title unification. Taking to her Instagram to announce the cancellation, Oshoba wrote, Oshoba wrote, "Hi everyone, just wanted to let you know my fight scheduled for Friday night has been cancelled due to some circumstances beyond my control. Of course, I am disappointed after all the hard work in camp and was ready to put up a show. But I know everything happens for a reason," she says. The 25-year-old Ogun State-born fighter, who boasts of a perfect record of 9-0 record with 5 knockouts, maintained a philosophical outlook despite the setback. So we'll see what will turn out for her and what she will be doing next. Obviously, heading back to the gym and making preparation for another bout that would, help her advance further and then get her world title unification as a world champ that she is. So the Nigerian-born fighter is set to still take on any challenge that may be set or sent towards her way. So moving on, the big news again coming out from the world of mixed martial arts is Israel Adesanya to make UFC return in Abu Dhabi. Israel Adesanya is set to make his UFC return in Abu Dhabi with a rematch against Paul Costa in the works for the UFC 321 on October 25th. The Nigerian New Zealand knocked Costa out at the UFC 253 back in September 2020 with a rematch now reportedly targeted for later this year. What promised to be a compelling middleweight contest, according to UFC media Octagon Plus. The middleweight rematch is just in the works with no official confirmation from the UFC president Dana White. The fight was actually being signed. If Israel versus Costa the second is officially confirmed, it's expected to feature on the UFC Night 321 main card, potentially serving as co-main event alongside Tom Apple versus Krill Ghana for the heavyweight title at the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. So Israel Adesanya obviously has a number of Costa here. I can remember he broke his nose and his jaw on the night he knocked him out. So we'll see if the match gets confirmed and if the dots get dotted and then the T's get crossed, then we might see an interesting matchup because these two individuals are knockout specialists. But Israel Adesanya had the best night in 2020 when they faced each other in September by dropping him and knocking him out. So we'll see what would happen again if Israel Adesanya would be able to do the same if the fight gets officially confirmed by the president Dana White. So we'll see how all of this will pan out, and then we'll see what next would remain for Israel if he'll be going to challenge for the title again. So we'll see how all of this will pan out. So moving on, let's talk Afro basketball quickly as the Tigers coach and captain laments Afro basketball 2025 exits. Nigerians, the Tigers, were left to real missed chances as the 2025 FIBA Afro basketball after bowing out of the tournament with head coach Mohamed Abdul Rahman and the team captain Ikenna Nwamu expressed disappointment over their quarterfinal exit. Both lamented the team's inability to capitalize on the key moments, admitting that the result fell short of their expectation despite players' efforts on court. The 2015 champions scrambled 91-75 to the mighty regional rivals and African powerhouse Senegal to bid farewell to the competition currently taking place in Angola. The team had topped Group B with 6 points, which earned them a place in the last 8 after securing victories over Madagascar, Tunisia, and Cameroon, respectively. However, when it came to crushing time, Senegal dominated Nigeria in the most part of the clash, especially in the second half and in the Brano and James putting up on a show that led the Trangan Lions to proceed to the 5th consecutive Afro basketball semi-finals since 2013 edition of the tournament in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. So this trajectory now continued, and then Nigeria lost the opportunity they had to cover up in the second and third quarter, but they won the first and then the fourth quarter. Let me bring you highlights of the game just in case you missed it between between Senegal and the Tigers of Nigeria. Here's the highlights.